Alright, welcome. So if you're on this video, it's because either your teacher has sent it to you, and we're going to talk about all 12 major scales. So I recommend if you're if you are if in the high school that I teach at, all my students have the Klengel technique book, and that all should be all encompassing. I'm going to be using all Klengel fingerings. These are what I've been taught to be the proper ones, especially if you're like me and you're dabbling into getting into more professional level playing. These are a lot more easier to remember it, especially for going up higher on the cello. But we're only going to do 2 octaves today, and we're going to start in the circle of 5th order. I will have timestamps below, so if you're just skipping around to a particular scale, I'm going to put it down below in the description. And if not, you could also put yourself on the comment in the description. Alright, we're going to first start with C, which starts with our open string. Then our first finger, 3rd finger, 4, open G, first finger, 3rd finger, and 4th finger. Now for 2nd octave, open D, first finger, low 2, 4, make sure all your fingers are down, A, first finger, and 2nd finger. Going down, back to 4, 2, 1, open, and 4. And this is all in first position. Moving on to G major. Here we go. Open G, first finger, 3, 4, open, first finger, 3, 4, open, first finger, low 2 for C natural, 4. Now we're going to shift to 4th position, E natural, 3 for F sharp, and then 4 for G. Back down, 1, 4, 2, 1, open, and 4. 4 E, 1, open, and 4. And then first finger. Okay, now let's go to D major. This is the first time we're going to be doing extensions. When you extend, you want to make sure that your first finger is still in the top, and then your 2nd finger is going to go where your 3rd finger usually goes. And then if you ever feel uncomfortable, you can always bring it up just a little bit up like this kind of. But it's always good to build this kind of a shape just to have the extensions really be in tune. So starting on 1 on the C string, D, extend for 2. Now extension 4, then open, and then first finger, extend again, and then the 4th finger, extension. Now same pattern as the other scales. Down, extend, 2, open, extend again, 1, 2, sorry, and then 1. Okay, now we're going to use that same pattern for our A scale. 2, extend for C sharp, open, first finger, extend for G sharp, and then A. It's going to be different. 1, 3. Now shift to 4th position. Extend the 2nd for F sharp. 4. And then your harmonic A. Just by gently touching it. No pressing down. Back down. And extend to 4. 2. 1. Down to 4. 3. And 1. A. Extend. extend, 2, and then 1. Good. Alright, now we're going to move on to the harder scales. These are scales that start in the upper positions, starting with E major. This one starts in second position, right where your third finger usually goes for the E on your C string. Sorry. So you can find it by thinking of arpeggio. But you're going to put your first finger there. Make sure it's also really, sometimes we tend to be a little bit low. So you can also check with your G. You should get a minor scale, a minor arpeggio triad. So if it sounds a little off, check it with your G string. Here we go. 2, 4. Now you're going to go back to 1. Extended. C sharp. Then you're going to go to low 1 and 2. 4. Shift to G sharp. 2. 4 for B natural, which is going to be in your high position. Go to C sharp. 3 for D sharp. And then E for fourth finger. Down. C sharp. Go down to shift. 4. Down to 4. 2. Low 1. Back to extended 4. 2. 1. Shift. 2. Then back to 1. Now really make sure that 1 usually gets to be a little bit sharp or a little bit flat. So really make sure to really get that in tune, especially if you're tuning by yourself. B major follows the same fingering, except you're going to do a little bit more extra shifting. And if you notice that we do shift to upper third position or lower fourth, as some people call it. So just be very mindful of where your intervals are, especially if you really want to keep things in tune. So always use a tuner. Here we go. B major has the same fingering. The only thing that's going to change is going to be the second octave. So starting again in second position. Extended. D sharp. Go to E natural. Extended. For F sharp. G sharp. Then go back to low 1. And then 2. 4 for C sharp. You're going to shift to D sharp now. 2. 4. Now go to, we call this one sixth position, high sixth position. To D sharp, 2, and then 3. Back down, go to G sharp, now to F sharp, 2, 1, now to C sharp, 2, down on 1, shift to extended, 2, 1, back to the extended, 2, and very well. This is what I call sibling scales. As you notice, A and D are also sibling scales because they share the same way of starting on their first octave. And same thing with the flatter keys, as we're going to look on farther into the video. F sharp is probably by far one of the hardest ones that we encounter. This takes place in high third position or low fourth position, and you're going to really want to find it as a tritone. That's how you usually find it, and that's how I've used to learn to find it. So finding that tritone interval. If you hear a fourth, you are a little bit too flat, and if you hear a perfect fifth, you're a little bit too high. So it's right in the weird sweet spot, as I call it. But same fingering as E and B major. 2, 4. Except we're going to go to B natural. Extended. 4. Then you're going to put first finger where 2 goes. For E sharp. F sharp. G sharp. Low 1 for B, A sharp. B natural. C sharp. D sharp. 3 for E sharp, F sharp, shift back, 2, low 1, go to shift, and 2. E sharp, so that's going to be that low one. D sharp, C sharp, B natural, there we go, A sharp, G sharp for F sharp. Yeah, and really keep in mind, since this is one of the hardest skills, it requires different positions. So just make sure when you're practicing, kind of find where to start at B natural is how I like to do it, and then go back down. Kind of like what I call the ladder exercise, just kind of going up each interval as you go up and then go back down. And then do that for all the way up to the top of the second octave. And it really helps with cementing in any of the fingerings, especially if you have trouble with shifting. And just kind of practice just the shifts if you really are struggling with your shifts. All right, here we go. We're going to go now to D flat. And this one's one of the more, I would say, it's a little bit easier than the sharp keys sometimes. So you're going to find your low one, kind of like the jaws thing. So just like right there, it's going to be your D flat, but following the same extension protocol. Extend, E flat. You're going to shift now to G flat, or is harmonic F sharp, A flat. Then you're going to put your first finger where 4 goes for C natural, 2 for E flat, and then going to go back to for F, G flat, A flat, then go to B flat for the low one, 3, and 4. Down, B flat, go to A flat, here we go, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C natural, 4th position for B flat, A flat, G flat, back to 1st position, 2, and then extended 1 back. And now, same thing goes for A flat. We do the same finger pattern. Extended 2, 4, shift, 2, 4, go to G natural, and then A flat, B flat, 4th finger, C natural, 2, 4, go to F natural, 3, and then 4. Back down, shift, shift, 1, go to the 4th position, extended back down to 4, 2, extended 1. Yeah, a little bit. And just these two tend to also be the same finger pattern. Just be very careful. There's an alternative in D flat, which I will add at the very end, and that's if you really want to do something different. I call that one the virtuoso finger, but I'll add that as an extra at the end of the video. Alright, here we go. We're going to go now to E flat, which is probably one of the more common keys you'll be playing in, especially if you ever do any Mozart. So, 2 on the C string. You can think of it as a minor. Here we go. So, 2, open G, low 1, extended 2, for B flat C, natural, open D, and then 2, shift to G, you're going to shift there, that's your A flat here, B flat, C natural, and then 4, down, 1, shift, then 1, shift back to 2, then 1, then open D, then 4 on C, B flat, A flat, open G, F natural, and then E flat. Okay, B flat follows the same thing. The only thing that changes is the second octave, but only a slight bit. Here we go. So we start off also again on 2, 4, open D, low 1, 2, 4, open A, B flat, 2 for C natural, shift to D, 2 for E flat, then 4, go to 1 for G, then you're going to go 2, and then B flat. It's right next to it. Down, shift back to 4, 2, 1, shift back to 2, then a B flat. Open A, 4th finger, 2, 1, open D, and go to C natural, and then 2. Yeah, and you should make sure those 2 as well are sibling scales. So they start off the same. The only thing that changes is their second octave. All right, F natural. This is our last scale of the circle of fifths. After this, you can repeat the circle as many times as you want, but you don't want to keep doing that. So this is a little bit similar to the B flat and E flat scale, but the beginning is a little bit different. The only thing that they share in common between B flat and E flat is the second octave fingering, but as you can see, it starts usually in a weird finger. So it just starts on 4, so it's going to be a lot more easier, and especially if you're struggling with other positions, it's going to be a little bit of a breath of fresh air right as you're ending your scale cycle. So F major. You should hear a perfect fourth as your way to find it if you're having a little trouble sometimes. So 4th finger, open G, 1st finger, 2, 4th finger, open D, 1st finger, and then 2, 4, open A, B flat, then 2, and just like B flat, we're going to shift, but instead of 2, we do 3 for E natural. Down, down, goes back to 2, B flat, open A, go to 4, and 2, 1, open D, go to C natural, 2, B flat. A, G, F. Yes. And now I'm going to show you the virtuoso fingering for D flat. I will only recommend this if you are already gotten the second octave of as it is and you're a little bit more advanced. But the second octave, there's an alternate fingering for D flat where you follow the same protocol for but instead of shifting to B flat on the A string, you're going to go up to upper 4th position for the B flat, C natural, and then go down 1st finger, back down to 4, and then follow the same finger pattern for 1st octave. Similarly, A major also has a differentiating second octave that is common, especially if you're going to start doing 3rd octave scales, and that's the only time I recommend doing that fingering. But that fingering will start off on open A, 1st finger, then shift to 1 for the D natural, 3 for E, F sharp, for G sharp, down, back down, then 1, and then 1 again. But like I said, I only recommend that if you're starting to do 3 octaves, because it really sets you up. It really sets you up for having that finger pattern kind of ready to cement for the 3rd octave as we all. So good luck on anything you're doing or auditions. I will post a separate arpeggio video for double bass as well as you have seen. I have one for double bass as well. If you're a bassist, go check that video out. I'm going to add another one for arpeggios for both instruments as soon as I am able to. And if you have the Klengel book, especially for cellos, it's on about the 6th page of the book. And it'll be right there. They're all on there. So if you really are ready to just go, you can just check that out. All right. Good luck, guys.